Imagine this. You take your very last sip of alcohol, and the countdown begins. Within minutes, your brain chemistry starts to shift. Within hours, your liver kicks into overdrive. Within days, your body begins a transformation that's nothing short of miraculous. But what happens first? What actually changes inside you in the first hour, the first night, the first week? And what surprises hit your system next that nobody warned you about? Because this isn't just about quitting booze. This is about finally meeting the version of you that alcohol has been holding hostage for years. Most people think stopping drinking is just feel bad, detox, white knuckle it, try not to cave. That's the old story. The truth is, from the moment you put the glass down, there's a specific, predictable sequence of events happening in your brain, your liver, your bones, your heart, your hormones, even in the way your cells repair DNA damage. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address, and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now. In this video, we're gonna walk through a minute-by-minute and day-by-day timeline of what happens inside your body when you stop drinking. From brain chemistry to liver healing, from immune system reboot to cravings vanishing almost entirely, the science is wild, and most of it nobody talks about. And right around day 21, there's a hidden turning point that still shocks most drinkers when they learn about it. So let's start right where it all begins. The very first minute you quit, minute 1 to hour 1, the chemical flip. The second you stop drinking, something simple but profound happens. B-ethanol, the industrial solvent we politely call alcohol, stops entering your bloodstream. Your body doesn't see alcohol as a treat. It recognizes it as a toxin and instantly switches into cleanup mode. Your liver gets the memo first. It starts breaking down the remaining alcohol in your system using enzymes like ADH and ALDH. Think of these as your internal hazmat team. They grab hold of the ethanol and start converting it into other chemicals so your body can get rid of it. Here's the catch. One of those chemicals, acetaldehyde, is up to 30 times more toxic than the alcohol itself. It reacts with proteins, fats, even your DNA, forming ugly, damaged molecules your body has to repair or remove. That's why your body always prioritizes alcohol above everything else. It pauses fat burning, it messes with blood sugar control, it slows other detox processes. For this short window of time, alcohol is treated as public enemy number 1. Roughly one standard drink takes about an hour to metabolize. If you've had several, your liver is now working a full shift just to clear the backlog. Here's the important part. Even though the alcohol is leaving your system, you won't necessarily feel better yet. In fact, that's where most people get a nasty surprise. Hour 12. The hangover paradox. Around the 8-12 hour mark after your last drink, your blood alcohol content drops to 0. Logically, this should be when you feel normal again. No alcohol in the blood, no problem, right? Wrong. This is when most hangovers actually peak. Your body is now dealing with the aftermath. Acetaldehyde and other toxic byproducts still circulating, inflammation ramped up as your immune system responds to the damage, dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, blood sugar on a roller coaster, sleep wrecked from the night before. Scientists think your immune system plays a huge role here, firing off inflammatory molecules in response to alcohol's damage. You experience that as headache, nausea, sensitivity to light, anxiety, and that horrible dread feeling. So even though your blood alcohol is at 0, your experience is far from 0. You're in withdrawal from something your brain has gotten used to relying on. The good news? Once you're past this window, the scales start to tip. Your body has finally exited crisis mode and can shift from survive tonight to repair and rebuild. And that's exactly what begins on day 1. Brain fog begins to lift. The first alcohol-free day often feels weird. You might wake up groggy, anxious, wired, but tired. Your sleep was probably broken, even if you knocked out quickly. Here's why. Alcohol sedates you, but it also suppresses REM sleep, the deep, restorative stage where your brain consolidates memories, clears waste, and resets emotional circuits. So your night wasn't real rest. It was more like a chemical knockout. But beneath that fog, something powerful is already happening. Alcohol has been hammering your neurotransmitters. GABA, your brain's brake pedal. Glutamate, your brain's accelerator. Dopamine, your motivation and reward signal. When you drink regularly, your brain adapts. It turns down its own calming systems because it's expecting alcohol to do the job. So when the booze disappears, you're left overexcited, jittery, and restless. On day one, your brain starts recalibrating those receptors. It's like an office reprogramming all its computers after a bad software update. You don't see all the code changing, but this is why day one can feel a bit off. You're not broken, you're rebooting. Some people already notice tiny wins today. A slightly clearer head in the afternoon, less heart pounding in their chest, the first night going to bed without passing out drunk. They're small signs, but they're proof your system is moving in the right direction. And by day 3, things start to shift even more visibly. Day 3, the immune system reboots. Around 72 hours alcohol-free, something crucial happens behind the scenes. Your immune system starts to wake back up. Alcohol doesn't just take the edge off. It quietly suppresses your defenses. It damages the lining of your gut, allowing toxins and bacteria to leak into your bloodstream. It disrupts your gut microbiome, the trillions of friendly bacteria that help regulate immunity. It derails immune cells that should be patrolling for infections and rogue cells. That's why drinkers get sick more often, why wounds heal slower, and why chronic inflammation becomes a constant background hum. After 3 days without alcohol, the gut lining starts tightening back up. Fewer toxins leak into circulation. Systemic inflammation begins to drop. Many people notice. Slightly better energy, less bloating, fewer random aches and pains, a little more emotional stability. You might still feel cravings, you might still feel irritable. That's normal. Remember, your brain is still recalibrating its GABA system. And for most people, it takes about 3 days for the nervous system to calm back down to its baseline. The fog is beginning to thin. And by day 7, one of your most abused organs starts making a serious comeback. Day 7, liver makes a comeback. Even so-called moderate drinkers can develop fatty liver, a condition where liver cells get swollen with fat, setting the stage for inflammation and scarring further down the line. The liver never complains loudly at first. No pain, no alarms, just silent damage. But about a week after your last drink, the numbers usually start to shift in your favor. Key liver enzymes, ALT and AST, often drop by up to 40% within the first 7-10 days of sobriety, especially if you were drinking heavily before. That's your liver breathing a sigh of relief and starting to clear out the fat and inflammation. And that's just the beginning. Inside your gut, your microbiome is slowly rebalancing. Alcohol has been killing off beneficial bacteria and allowing less friendly ones to dominate. Now, the good guys can start repopulating. That improves digestion, reduces bloating, and lowers immune overactivation. A lot of people report that around this point, their skin looks a little less puffy. Dark circles under the eyes begin to fade. They don't wake up drenched in sweat as often. They get flashes of genuine, natural energy they haven't felt in years. You are 1 week in. You haven't even scratched the surface of what your body can do. And as your internal chemistry stabilizes, something else starts normalizing too. The pressure inside your blood vessels. Day 15. Blood pressure normalizes. 2 weeks alcohol-free might not sound like much, but your cardiovascular system would disagree. Alcohol makes your heart and blood vessels work overtime, raises blood pressure, increases resting heart rate, disrupts heart rate variability, your heart's ability to speed up and slow down appropriately. You don't always feel this. That's why it's known as the silent killer. By day 15, your resting heart rate is often significantly lower than it was as a drinker. Your blood pressure can drop towards a healthier range. Your circulation improves, delivering oxygen and nutrients more efficiently. Some people describe it as aging in reverse. Your face looks less inflamed. Your hands and feet feel warmer. Your stamina in workouts or even just walking upstairs improves. On the microscopic level, you're also generating less oxidative stress, those unstable molecules that damage cells and speed up wrinkles, gray hairs, and organ wear and tear. And yet, as impressive as all that is, it's around day 21 that something happens that almost nobody talks about. Day 21, a hidden recovery starts. At roughly the 3-week mark, something remarkable shows up on scans. For many people, the liver now looks almost normal again. Fatty deposits have shrunk dramatically. Inflammation has cooled. Function tests often come back in the normal range. If this was the only change, it would already be huge. But there's a quieter, stranger recovery going on. Your bones start to rebuild. Alcohol doesn't just soften your willpower, it literally weakens your skeleton. Your bones are constantly renewing themselves. Old bone is broken down by cells called osteoclasts, and new bone is built by osteoblasts. Alcohol suppresses the builders and lets the destroyers run wild. Over years, this leads to reduced bone mineral density, tiny fractures, especially in ribs, and a much higher risk of osteoporosis. 3 weeks after quitting, the balance starts to shift back. Osteoblasts can resume their job, bone density slowly improves, that silent, creeping brittleness begins to reverse. You won't feel this change directly. No one wakes up and says, "Wow, my bones feel solid today." But years from now, the version of you who doesn't randomly fracture a wrist in a simple fall, or who avoids painful spine and hip problems, that version of you is being created right here in this invisible turning point. And while your skeleton is quietly getting stronger, something else is happening on the surface. Day 30, metabolic reset. This is the point where a lot of people look in the mirror and think, hang on, I actually look different. Here's what's going on under the hood. Insulin sensitivity improves. Alcohol interferes with how your body handles blood sugar. Removing it helps your cells respond better to insulin again, lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes. Belly fat starts to shift. Alcohol calories are sneaky. Your brain doesn't register them like food, so you drink on top of your normal intake. Plus, drinking pushes you toward high-calorie, low-quality foods. Hunger hormones rebalance. Alcohol messes with leptin and ghrelin, signals that tell you when you're full or hungry. A month sober, those signals become clearer. Cravings for junk food often drop. Sleep also transforms around this point. You're spending more time in deep and REM sleep, which means you wake up feeling actually rested, your mood is more stable, your ability to focus at work skyrockets, you stop needing 3 coffees just to feel human. Many people lose a noticeable amount of weight by day 30 without counting a single calorie, simply because they've removed this toxic, sugary, high-calorie liquid from their daily routine. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the dark side. Even with all these wins, most people relapse in month 2. Not because their body needs alcohol, but because of what happens in their brain when familiar triggers show up. Day 60, the cravings game. By 2 months sober, the physical dependency has mostly faded for the majority of drinkers. Your brain has stabilized its GABA and glutamate system, reduced those intense automatic drink now signals, started finding pleasure in normal life again. So why do cravings suddenly hit like a truck sometimes? Because craving isn't just chemistry, it's also association. Your brain has spent years wiring alcohol into certain situations. Friday nights, stressful emails, arguments, celebrations, lonely evenings on the sofa. Those patterns don't vanish just because your liver is healthier. Around the 60-day mark, you'll probably notice you can go days with zero urge to drink. Then, suddenly, one specific cue, an old bar, a certain friend, a smell, even a song lights up the old circuit and the urge spikes. This is where mindset becomes non-negotiable. If you still see alcohol as a treat you're not allowed to have, you'll feel deprived every time a trigger shows up. Willpower will feel like a constant battle. But if you reframe alcohol as a toxin that robbed you of sleep, energy, confidence, money, and time, suddenly saying no stops feeling like missing out. It starts feeling like self-respect. Your job in this phase isn't to be a superhero, it's to rewrite the story. I'm not someone trying not to drink. I'm someone who doesn't want to drink anymore. Make it to 90 days with that mindset, and you're stepping into a whole new identity. Day 90, new identity forms. 3 months, around 90 days. This is where a lot of people say, I feel like myself again, but upgraded. Your reward system, once hijacked by alcohol, has started to heal. Instead of needing a hit of ethanol to feel anything, your brain is now releasing dopamine for things that actually move your life forward. Good workouts, deep conversations, progress at work, learning new skills, quiet, peaceful evenings you actually remember. Psychologically, this is huge. You stop asking, can I really do this forever? And you start thinking, why would I ever go back? Socially, you begin to notice shifts too. You're no longer the person hovering near the bar all night. You're the one who leaves events on your own terms, remembering what you said, how you acted, and who you met. From a health perspective, by 2-3 months, cardio fitness is significantly better. Liver function is vastly improved. Sleep architecture is more like that of a non-drinker. Anxiety and depressive symptoms are often far lower than they were in your drinking days. But believe it or not, the biggest physical recovery is still coming. Because at 6 months, 2 of your most damaged organs reach a major milestone. Day 180, brain plus liver fully recovered. 6 months alcohol-free. For many people, assuming no severe cirrhosis, the liver is now functionally normal again. Fat deposits are gone or dramatically reduced. Inflammation has calmed. Enzyme levels are stable. It's like replacing a burnt-out factory with a lean, efficient operation that can actually do its job, detoxifying your blood, regulating hormones, storing and releasing energy correctly. Your brain is also in a vastly different place than it was when you were drinking. Chronic alcohol use literally shrinks certain areas of the brain, especially those linked to decision-making, memory, and emotional regulation. The bad news, dead brain cells don't come back. The good news, the brain you have left can rewire, form new connections, and regain lost volume. 6 months in, scans show increased gray matter in areas that were previously shrunken, better connectivity between brain regions, improvements in attention, problem solving, and impulse control. Subjectively, people notice sharper memory, more emotional resilience, the ability to handle stress without collapsing into a drink, a calm confidence that used to feel impossible. You're no longer just surviving without alcohol. You're operating at a level of physical and mental performance that your drinking self never even got close to. And if you keep going another 6 months, you don't just become someone who doesn't drink. You become someone entirely new. Day 365, the full transformation. 1 year sober. 12 months ago, you took that last sip. You had no idea what would happen next. Now look at what's changed. Body, you likely weigh less, your skin is clearer, your eyes are brighter, your blood pressure is healthier. Your risk of heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers has dropped significantly and continues to fall the longer you stay alcohol-free. Brain, clearer thinking, better memory, stronger focus, emotional stability you previously tried to buy from the bottom of a bottle, more money in your account, more presence with your partner, kids, or friends, fewer shameful mornings trying to piece together what happened, more time, literal extra years added to your life expectancy if you were a heavy drinker. But maybe the biggest change is this: you are no longer someone trying to quit drinking. You're someone who doesn't drink. Alcohol is no longer the main character in your story. It's just a boring side note, a thing you used to do. You're building businesses, careers, families, confidence, without dragging a self-imposed sedative into every chapter. This is the full transformation. Not just a detox, a redesign. Now you know what happens when you stop drinking alcohol. Minute by minute, day by day, month by month. From that first chemical flip in your liver to your immune system waking up, from your blood pressure dropping to your bones quietly rebuilding, from cravings losing their power to your entire identity shifting at the 1 year mark. But here's the truth. Knowing the timeline is not enough. If information alone could change your drinking, it would have worked by now. You don't need more willpower. You need a different lens, a new way of seeing alcohol, so the desire to drink fades instead of constantly fighting it. So if you're curious about how to make sobriety stick without white knuckling, without feeling deprived, and without labeling yourself as an alcoholic, click the video on the screen now.